The Hebrew word for writing is katav. By the letters, it's a picture of your hand, your kaf, marking the inside of something. In ancient times, they made impressions in rocks and clay, or used ink which could be absorbed into things like papyrus or animal skins, which we call parchment. Most teach that language and katab, writing, were products of evolution and mankind's ingenuity. But in the first pages of Genesis, we see a creator speaking in a single language to the men and women that he had created, and we see that they were built and born with an ability to understand this language. And in Exodus, we see evidence that God has his own writing system. So he has authored languages, and he is clearly able to write. I don't know what writing system he uses up there, but the evidence that he handcrafted the Hebrew language and alphabet for us down here piles up the more you study this language. It's written that he called the sea Yam. That's a yod and a mem. He could have called it anything, but he named it a word which in Hebrew has a symbol for water. There's also the Hebrew word lech, which means go and walk. Lech is a picture of a staff and a hand, a kaf. And we see people being told to lech, to go, all throughout scriptures. And anytime you see the word walk, the root word is lech. Moses was even told at one point to take his rod in his hand and go, which is a beautiful illustration of the word lech. Another example of how this language was designed by God is in the word for atonement. The Hebrew words for atonement are kafar and kippur. That's Kippur as in Yom Kippur, the Day of Atonement. Both are spelled kaf, pe, resh. The first two letters represent the full word kaf, which is the hand, and the resh represents a head. So by the pictures, Kippur is a hand and a head. And on Yom Kippur, the priest lays hands on a head of a goat and makes atonement for Israel. And this imagery is used for atonement throughout the scriptures, the laying on of hands onto the head of an animal in order to make kafar.